Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. 2013 BMW. We've got a brake pad concern in the back. Don't know if this one here's got the sensor or not. It does have a electronic parking brake. So first thing we need to do is to turn that off. Turn the brake off, parking brake off. I got the puppy over here, sorry. And what the other thing you need to know is, save you a little bit of time looking, the brake reservoir, there's a little latchy right here. Ta-da! There's your brake reservoir. So, anyway, right back here, that's where that thing lives. So we'll move around the other side. Standard procedure, of course, take the wheels off. That kind of should go without saying. So we'll have to rack this thing up, and I'm going to zip the wheels off of here with an impact, and we'll see what we can see. Turn the camera back on in a second. So when that parking brake is set, you won't be able to turn these wheels. Of course, we're turning both sides, so that's why I couldn't spin it with one hand. Parking brake is obviously not set. So 17 millimeter. These things here, well, for that matter, a lot of the Euro vehicles, they don't have lug nuts. They have lug studs. Just, not that it matters, but just throw that in there. These here are a little bit too tight. Seems like. Maybe not. Maybe my battery was just weak. They generally sit on there pretty good. I can't tell you that, because they got a nice hub right here that they sit on. They got a substantial lip right here on that rotor. We are going to be resurfacing the rotor today. No ifs, ands, buts about that. I don't think it has a brake sensor. An additional sensor on the pad, I don't think so. Brake pads is still good, but we do have a warning message. Well, no, I just said that completely wrong. Brake pads still have life left in them. We do have a warning message about the brake pads. I said that wrong, apologize. Anyway, 15 mil and 13 mil. 13 mil on the saddle here. I mean on the brake caliper. 15 mil if you need to hold the pins, the slide pins. Let's see if I am correct with that. Okay, that is not coming loose, so we are going to use a 15 mil. And that is a, well, that may be a 12. I may have said that wrong. No, it is a 13. It is a 13. Must be careful with these brake components. This has got, I've done this again. Okay, let me go ahead and redo this. Guys, this camera here is pretty big, so it is hard for me to sometimes show this, but anyway, right there's your setup. This plug will have to come off at some point in time. You see where the hose is going in. Okay, so this is the setup right there. There's our brake pads. Show you the whole thing. Hardware, of course, that way you can follow along, kind of, sort of. What I'm doing here anyway, I'm going to assume the bolt, the factory bolt, has a thread locker on it. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I can't talk for nothing. I actually get a ratchet and a socket after that. we switch over to a 13. To ratchet. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, turn the camera off. You don't need to see me ratcheting on here. So, in fact, that does have the blue thread locker on it. Pads are stuck in hardware pretty good. Of course, we're going to discard these pads. And they're not too awful bad. And this don't have the additional brake sensor on them. Discard the hardware. The assembly is pretty light. You're not going to hurt it. That's a pretty substantial wire right there, and this also be the time where we're going to head get the plug off of here. And then there's going to be these two torques in the back. We'll have to get them off. I mean, I am stating the obvious today. Obviously, we have to get them off, right? So I'll have to get that off. That kind of slides out of there. I know I'm going to drop these bolts, so I'm just going to go ahead and take them off anyway. Before I drop them. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. Okay. I do sometimes get lazy with the camera work, so I've been accused of that a time or two. So here's that motor that drives the e-brake. Sorry about that, guys. You'll kind of try to remember how you got that off of there. So, you know, this is facing up. I mean, we've seen that obviously on the camera. It's facing up, so we'll put this off to the side first. My next step, and I'll have to show you this here in just a minute, I'm gonna take the bracket off of here and we'll clean that bracket up. Actually, Benz has a good step in here. We're gonna get this resurfaced. I don't want no comebacks because of noisy brakes or anything like that. Zeus, you'll have to move. Excuse me, you'll have to move. Go. Hang on. I love me a puppy, but they're all over the place. And that little fella is so fast. 16 millimeter. Obviously, there's two of them on the bracket, as there always is. I don't know that I've ran into a bracket with more bolts. May have, wouldn't remember anyway. Good Lord, BMW. One more top, obviously. Copper bracket, coated pins. These pins are actually lubed up enough. I mean, they're clean. They're really clean. Very easy in and out. super duper clean, and the grease is like very elastic still, I guess, if that's a word for this, that is. So we'll go ahead, clean that up a little bit. I'm umming a lot today, but anyhow, so we'll clean this up, wire wheel that. I don't feel like getting the blaster out today, but I'm going to wire wheel that, clean it up, and you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to catch up on the other side before I go any further, get all that apart, because I really hate to do it one side at a time. That takes a lot more time, so turn the camera back on when I get caught up. Real quick, I'm going to make a small correction on my statement. Brake sensor is, in fact, on the other side. So this wire right here, we have to be careful with that. It goes to the pad, it clips onto the pad. We'll just have to wiggle, 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 and get it wiggled off of there. This is what we'll have to be very careful with. These are very, very easy to damage, so kind of keep that in mind. Anyway, we'll pause that camera back up, because that gives me a chance to catch up. Okay, so this part, I'm going to try my best to show you that. I just pulled this off. You can't rip on this. I'm going to get this pad out of here. So, very, very careful with this, guys. Alright, so that has detected, that's the actual thing that's actually detected that the brakes were getting close. So there's a slot in the brake pad. Be very, very careful. Gingerly, very, very gingerly. Pull on this. So here's the brake sensor. There is a backside to it. There's a step on one side. That's going to have to be toward our surface here. There's also a clip. The good pads, at least the factory pads, I think it comes with the clip. I don't know if it'll come with this or not. Now that little feller does come in through, so you'll have to do this at a certain sequence, or that's not going to work, right? Well, here's what I'm telling you. So this has to sit. It has to come through the center section right here. It has to come through this. Well, that will not work. So you have to be careful on that one. Other than that, it's the same. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, or the same thing on this side. What we did on the other side. We're going to take that motor back off now. Of course, we're going to discard the hardware. Same thing here. That's on there. Alright, still waiting for the brake pads and the rotors to return. I lubed this up. I cleaned it up. Like I said, this time I used the blaster. There's these two screws right here that hold the rotor in place. I don't want to lose it. We cleaned the hub up, fixing to spray those, but in the meantime I want to show you how you handle the caliper. A T45 is what I got here. Now we'll take that caliper right here, put that T45 in there, and turn this in clockwise. Won't do that until that stops. Takes a few turns. It's got a little bit of friction, but not too much. I mean, it should be doable with 2 fingers, just like I'm doing right here. Should be no problem for you to do that. Alright, so it just stopped. You don't force anything on that. Just do it just like that. And we'll take any cup, it doesn't matter what it is. We take any of them and flip them backwards and put them on there, and use that to push that back, the piston back in. Like I said, we can use any. This is just one of them tools you can rent at the auto parts store. So we use that and let it do its thing here. As a matter of fact, if you done it right, there should be no kind of friction on that whatsoever. Well, I mean, there's of course some kind of resistance, but you know, we should be able to roll it in with no problem at all. Make sure your boot stays in place. You don't want that boot to get out. That's going to be a bad thing. And this one here, you don't want to use pressure. When you get out all the way, that screw starts coming out in the back. So be careful with that. You don't want to force. You don't force that. Matter of fact, when it starts puckering out, then you stop right there. Don't go any further. You can mess these things up fairly easily. I hate to say it. I've done it before. You know, I forced them too much before, and I've messed them up myself. So, just to be honest. But anyway, I just wanted to share that part. So that's actually ready to be assembled right now. So without the rotors here, of course, we can't do anything. Matter of fact, I didn't even grab the brake pads when I was over there because they're going to bring them as well. It saves me from having multiple tickets on the job. Well, that way I don't have multiple tickets on the database. But anyway, fluid film, not a sponsor. Just we'll give it a spritz. Both sides, of course. This vehicle here, I don't think has seen any kind of bad harsh weather. Reason I say that is simply because there wasn't no rust on these rotors, but now they probably had very good face contact as well. You crazy. You are crazy. Get out of the ground. You need another bath now. Oh, puppy killing me. But anyway, they had real good face contact. Probably two, but either way, by the looks of this, the underside and all that good stuff, yeah, a little muddy, but that's just the rain we've been having here in the area, you know, and of course, depending on where you're driving. Anyway, I'll pause the camera back up till we get the rotors and all that good stuff. Hell, I don't know how good focus. I don't know how good the camera is going to pick this up, but this is my rotor. That's how I just got them back. Hellacious step in here. Front side is not that bad, but bad enough. Let's see the other one here. Whoa! What the? Yeah, that's just not acceptable. I'm gonna have to contact the customer here and see what we can do. That rotor was almost out of spec, and I'm not going to accept it like that. I'm going to turn the camera off. So they replaced. Well, I went ahead with new rotors. Like I said, the other ones, that's just not doable. The pad that's got this back on it, that has got the arc, like this one here, you see it doesn't have that. That's going to be your rear pad. And I inserted, I hope you can see that, I inserted that clip right there, right in that slot. Now, the trick is, or well, not a trick, the must do is that you insert this in there like that, and we'll have to have the raised side. I hope you can see this. That's got a raised side right here, and this will have to be inserted into here. It clips right in, and now it won't move. It won't come out. And it'll wiggle a little bit. This is available. The sensor is available. The clip is available in case something goes wrong. But anyway, that's what you need to do. And I'm going to get my cart over here, so I'm not going to be looking for my bolts. I'll get my cart over here, just in case. I'm going to try to get the camera to where you can actually see. Light's dead. I'm really trying to create a good video for you there, but anyway, so we'll do this any way we can. You know how the hose was sitting in there. So I'm gonna insert the pad. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to look at that. So my noggin is gonna have to go in there, so put that in there. And obviously at this point in time, we can put this all back together the way it needs to be. If it's your preference to, let me flip that screen so I can see. Well, if it is your preference to lubricate, or not lubricate, but to thread lock this bolt, by all means go ahead and do that. You know, I'm not telling you not to do it. What I am telling you, I've never ever, and I just moved the camera, I never ever had one of them come loose. Not one that was tightened up, you know. So that's the way our cable is going to be placed. Our sensor is right there, and of course it's distance away from the metal now. That's what it actually does. Had some bad placement here. That's actually rubbing. I just now discovered that was actually rubbing. Luckily it didn't rub through, but anyway, guys, I'm going to put this together now. I'm going to pause the camera up so I can get my bolts on there, and then we'll concentrate on the motor, get the motor back on. So that bit right there is a little bit difficult to film. Let me go ahead and pull the shop door. I know that camera angle does not like the light at all, so I can already see that. That's got us all fouled up. That motor, matter of fact, so that's obviously a spline drive on this one. So it probably is a pretty good I should have done this beforehand. I'm going to go ahead and do it now. I should have already done that, and that was that's on me. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna use a little bit of red grease here, and what I'm gonna do is go put it on that O-ring. There's an O-ring obviously on there that seals this unit. I should have already done that. I didn't do it. That was silly on my part. I honestly forgot to do it. I just realized it, but it's never too late to make an attempt anyway, you know. So now I've got the grease on, what I'll do is I'll take this motor and we'll go straight up with it the way it was. And I've just, well, this is going to be hard to see for you guys, so I wiggle it until it goes in, and you can feel it slipping in. Let me turn the screen around. You can feel it slipping in, and it will kind of snap. You can clearly feel it. There's no other way for me to explain it. Anyway, and after that, you know, we use the bracket and bolt this motor back in, plug it in, you know, bolt it in, plug it in, whatever. And that's the long and short of it. Now I can't show you putting these bolts in. Is obviously on the back side. I don't know how to get this big camera in there, so you'll have to figure that part out. But I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Once you get your bracket back in place, you know, it kind of sort of falls into place, really. Because everything kind of, I don't know how to explain it really, but everything kind of snaps together when it goes good. And this can be done later. You can do this beforehand. You don't have to. This generally does not go together hard or anything like that by any means. I'm just gonna move that camera because I need to step right where the camera is at, so I can get this done. And I'm gonna pause the camera up, and we'll move on to the other side, which I'm not going to film it again, but I'm going to still do something. I'll give you another angle from the back side. So there's two bolts, one right there and one right there. Try to reach that light. Got that light in a bad spot, naturally I turned the damn thing off. So, but yeah, it's touching together. There was nothing forced on that or any such a thing. So we'll just take our we'll just take a wire once this bolt is tight and clip it back in to where that goes, and that's the routing of it. I haven't tightened those bolts yet, so I can't put it in there. But yeah, that's the routing. This needs to be clipped in. Well, I'll go ahead and do it. Have to take it back off, but that's how that sits, and it's clipped in on top of the motor as well. Of course, we don't have that on the other side. We've only got it on the one side. We don't have that here. All right, so pause that camera back up. Before somebody asks me, though, the pads here, they're import direct. I like them. Absolutely 100% not a sponsor. I will say that. So, okay. So here's the parts. Let's do it as if I actually had a little bit of sense. So, I've got me some of the grease here, and here in the back is the O-ring that I'm talking about. So, we'll go ahead and lube that O-ring up. We all know that O-rings cooperate much better with grease than they do dry. So the unit is going to sit like this. The motor is going to go on top like that. What I do is I just rotate it in, and boom, I've already actually turned it, so we know that part is going to be good. This has to slip in right here. You'll have to kind of slip that in. That's the only way that'll go in. So, just like that. For me, I find it easier to do this later on, but whatever, to each their own. We can do it right here, right now. Sorry, my noggin is in the way. There ain't but so much play in this thing. We don't have to muscle anything here. Sorry about that. Camera is still in a bad angle. Like I said, instead of fumbling around, I find it easier to do it from the backside, but it is what it is. Torque them things. Is that the part where you say click, click? I think it is. But you kind of have to work it in when you're doing it like that. When you put your motor on, you can't slip them in. You have to go in from the bottom. You have to slide them in from the bottom so you don't break bits and pieces on the motor. So. I'm giving you some of the key points here. Sorry about my head being in the way. If it was, I don't know if it was or wasn't. Go ahead and plug my wire back in so that don't get forgotten. It snaps. These are actually pretty tough to get on. So, I mean, not tough to get on, but they're pretty solid connections, I should say. You know, they're not just easily slipping in. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess. Still enough thread locker on there to kind of hold on for dear life. Click. They make a thin or a thinner set of wrenches. These are kind of, when you shove the wrench in there all the way, they kind of gonna no, well, not kind of, they will get hung up. Anything that I have is too thick to not get hung up, but they make a set of wrenches that is made for these things here that are a lot thinner. See, that's already wanting to hang up, and I'm not even tight yet. So I'll just grab it with the tip, and that's normally enough to do what we need to do and force it back off. Like I said, slide pins, make sure that all that good stuff is clean. At this point in time, this vehicle here is ready to receive some wheels. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. Note, we have no kinks or anything like that. We're back exactly the way it came from the factory. So at this, well, I'm gonna pause that camera back up because there is one more step. Okay, so step one, before I do anything else, car is still racked. I just let it down so I can get inside to the brake pedal. I'm gonna very, very slowly pump the brake pedal. We've got, actually the first pump doesn't give us our pressure. Now I'm gonna head straight back up, well not all the way, but anyway. Just enough to have the wheels off the ground, so our wheels are rolling perfectly fine. And we're gonna head inside the vehicle right now. I'm not gonna take you in the vehicle with me, that's there's no need in that. I'm gonna go ahead and have my key on me now, get in here and turn just ignition on. Let this start up. I'll let that screen load up. So we can hear our motor engaging. So our motor is engaged now. So what that means, the motor has engaged the brakes, and if this rolls, we've done something wrong. So anyway, that's one. I'm not going to bring you around the other side, but you will want to check both as solid as a rock. So there's nothing moving and twisting and turning and all that good stuff. Step number 3, I think it would be, I guess. I'm going to let this back down and go ahead and plug our scan tool in, and we'll have to reset the brake service on it. I'll turn the camera back on. So, the brake pads will have to be reset. The parking brake's got to be off to do that. Well, most of you are not, well, I guess I'm assuming, but most of you probably ain't going to have the scan tool to do it anyway, so it doesn't really matter much. I'm already in the menu. I'm going to go ahead and go through there, and let's see if a reset is possible. Conditions are not correct. Well, so we might have to reset all of the whole entire list. Front pads at 16%. Something was done there. Give me just a second because I don't remember it. Check something. All right. So the fronts have been redone, and I don't know why it says that it's 16%. It should not be 16%. Those brake pads are virtually new. Let's see, go to the full list. I don't know if it's going to do it or not. Alright, so, well, there's a failure right off the bat. So let's see, pause this camera up, do a little bit of digging and see what's going on, why the conditions are not met. Well, my battery is about out. I'm going to do this real quick. So certain percentage on the wear sensor. The wear sensor has to be replaced. Long story short, I made a mistake. There's a box over here. Pop that lid open. It's over here toward the rear. Pop that lid open. The connector goes in there. All we have to do is replace this connector. Really easy. The routing, it goes obviously through the front right there, clips in like we showed you, and routes back here on the control arm, comes up and goes into this box. You want to put that back into the box. Guys, not going to go through the whole process of resetting it again. Basically, in a nutshell, I know that a lot of you are not going to have the equipment to reset something like that anyway, but anyhow, that's how you do it. That's how it needs to be done. And once this wear sensor is replaced, we should be able to go ahead and reset our pads. And that way the pesky little light goes away. Does it have any effect on the brakes? No, it does not. As far as the operation, the safe operation of the brakes has nothing to do with it. All right, so not going to end the video just like that. I changed my mind. Again, I changed my mind a lot on them. No, I was just going to show you, I bought a sensor. The only place that had a sensor was at the AutoZone. So just to show you the minute difference, I don't know if the camera will ever pick it up. There's just a minute difference on that sensor, and that's probably the reason why I was able to reset them before. Anyway, it's going to be hard for you to see. All right, so let's see. Got to get the old clip out of it. This one here already has a clip. So this one here is kind of clipped with it, obviously. So we'll insert that straight into that brake pad just like that. Force it all the way in. Well, not force it. Use imagination when I said that. And we'll just go backwards with the sensor. Hope you can see that. Let me flip my screen around. No, you cannot. Now you can. All right, so here we got this part. It clips into here. These connections here need to be good. So we've got one part here, and then I'm going to continue on the back side here. All right, so we're going to continue on the back side. One more clip down here in the back. You're not going to be able to see that one real good. So there's one in the back. Oh, right there. I'm trying to do the best that I can with the camera here, guys, so you're going to have to just bear with me this time. And I know a lot of times y'all that's give me hell for not filming just exactly right, so clip it back in, and then here we've got finally the last bracket, and then want to plug our sensor back in. Obviously. Yeah, I know, I just said that. This one here clips, and then it also clips into the box. So you don't want to forget about that part of it. And then just put your lid back down and lock the box back up. So that's the box that I'm talking about right there. I showed you that earlier. Give me a second. I know we always got to prove to you guys that what we're doing is real. See if we got the conditions met. Certainly something wrong. It lost communication with the fob. It was too far away is what I'm saying. So anyway, analog brakes, continue, and I'm going to do a coat clear on this because I know it's still got that pesky coat in it. Yep. That is not being reset. What am I doing here? Okay, let's go back. I just messed this up again. Oh, there it is. Snap on, you keep moving this crap on me. Clear codes. Continue. Go back out of here. Then we're going to go to the service interval resets. Like I said, I realize a lot of you probably don't have that type of capability, but anyway, that's how you do it if you do. So now that we got communication, hopefully that'll go and reset is complete. That should be at 100% now, and no more warning on the dash for this lady. Okay, 100%. So let me see. Back out of here. There's one more thing that I'm going to do. Let's see. Function test, special function. Change the front pads. Edit new value. Okay, since I did reset the front brake pads a while ago, I know that the front brake pads have been changed because the pads look like they're new, but I didn't want to leave it at 100%. So basically what I did here is go to 80%. We can verify that by going back down here and look at the service interval resets and see what they're advertising. So the front brake pads, and that's basically what I was just doing. We reset that I reset it to 80%. Rear ones obviously new, so they're at 100%. So inspection date is set. By the way, on these here, you can set the inspection date, and I did that for the day. Well, I mean, not for the day, but for the 5th month, 2022. So anyway, brake fluid does look good. I've already inspected that. So that's basically in a nutshell it. So guys, one more time. This time I don't have to try to go so fast. I do appreciate everybody, watch the videos and like, subscribe, whatever, dislike. I don't care. Either way, can't make everybody happy, but leave comments. Tell me what you would have done different. Tell me what I've done wrong, and I'll go from there. We'll see you on the next one.